Surely, all of us have heard of the term telepathy at least once. You can experience telepathy with any subject, even animals. This connection is based on the idea that we all share the same origin. Some people can communicate through their minds while dreaming. In the past, telepathy between humans was considered a spiritual phenomenon that wasn't real. However, in 2014, neuroscientist Carlos Grau and his colleagues at the University of Barcelona, Spain, proved the authenticity of telepathy, mind-to-mind communication. Many cultures around the world openly acknowledge telepathic communication. Telepathy is considered a special connection between people without verbal or physical contact. If you understand what telepathy is, you'll also grasp the mysterious bond between romantic partners or family members. And before diving deeper into this topic, I'll share some chilling stories about telepathy. In 1962, the 32-year-old Eller twin sisters were diagnosed with schizophrenia and admitted to a psychiatric hospital in North Carolina, USA. Despite their vehement objections, the hospital placed them in separate treatment wards. Tragically, both passed away on the first night of their separation, with the cause of death remaining a mystery. Both were found curled up in a fetal position, reminiscent of a baby in the womb. In an article published in the American magazine Science News, molecular biologist Dr. Laura Sanders recounted a story from 1893. Hans Berger, a 19-year-old mathematics student at the University of Jena, Germany, had enlisted in a cavalry unit for a year. During a training exercise, Berger was unexpectedly thrown from his horse as a heavy artillery carriage barreled toward him. Terrified and helpless on the ground, he watched the oncoming carriage. At that moment, miles away, his younger sister suddenly felt an overwhelming sense that something terrible had happened to her brother, insisting that their father send a telegram to check on him. Fortunately, thanks to the quick reflexes of the carriage driver, Berger escaped with only minor bruises. Berger believed he had somehow transmitted his fear of death to his distant sister, sparking a quest to answer the question, how can thoughts travel from one person to another? Returning to university, he abandoned mathematics to study medicine and physiology. Rather than attempting to replicate his sister's telepathic experience, he sought to understand the brain mechanisms behind the latent power that enabled telepathy. This obsession with telepathy propelled him to the forefront of neuroscience. He tirelessly explored how telepathy might function, examining blood flow and brain temperature before introducing electrical currents. His breakthrough came on July 6, 1924, while studying a patient K with a traumatic brain injury. Using a vacuum tube amplifier to enhance electrical signals, Berger discovered brainwaves. In 1929, he published his findings in 14 papers titled On the Electroencephalogram of Man, numbered 1 to 14. The electroencephalogram, EEG, uses electrodes to measure electrical brain activity from the scalp. Electrophysiologist Edgar Adrian, a 1932 Nobel laureate in physiology or medicine from the University of Cambridge, initially doubted Berger's findings, but replicated the experiment and confirmed the results. Late in life, Berger admitted he could not fully answer the question of what brain mechanism enables telepathy, as he believed the brain waves from his horse accident could not have reached his sister. Dr. Caitlin Shore, an American scientist, remarked, "The lingering 19th century challenge was the attempt to explain telepathic cases." She noted that modern technology now facilitates wireless brain connections, bringing us closer to phenomena resembling telepathy. On March 28, 2014, history was likely made when the first telepathy-like signals were successfully transmitted between two people 8,000 kilometers. The sender was in a laboratory in Thiruvananthapuram, the capital of Kerala, India, and the receiver was in Strasbourg, France. The experiment was conducted by researchers from Spain, University of Barcelona, France, Axilum Robotics, and the United States, Harvard Medical School. According to Yale Scientific Magazine, the team utilized known brain-computer interface technology. Both participants, in France and India, wore helmets equipped with electrodes sensitive to electromagnetic brainwaves connected to the internet. The sender in India thought of a simple message, the greetings Hola, Spanish, and Ciao, Italian. The research team used a computer to record the sender's brain signals, converting brain activity into electrical pulses. Each thought generates a specific amount of electromagnetic waves from the neural network. These brain waves were then encoded into digital signals and transmitted via the internet to the receiver in France, using a non-invasive brain-to-brain communication method. Ultimately, the receiver in France successfully decoded the message. This marked the first time conscious thoughts were directly transmitted between two individuals. Neuroscientist Dr. Giulio Ruffini, USA, remarked, "This is the first time one person directly knew what another was thinking." The research team described this as a form of telepathic message transmission. However, the experiment relied on technological assistance and was unidirectional. Scientists cautioned against equating brain-to-brain communication with telepathy or mind control, as true telepathy involves information exchange without any physical interaction or machinery. In summary, as neuroscientist Dr. Matt Johnson, USA, noted, scientific efforts to explore telepathy have largely failed. A century after psychiatrist Hans Berger's work, no clear evidence supports the existence of telepathy. Scientists have never successfully replicated telepathic abilities in a laboratory. Numerous experiments followed a similar setup. Person A was given a number between 1 and 100 and instructed to telepathically communicate it to person B in an adjacent room. Ultimately, B's predictions were no better than random guesses. From a physical perspective, no part of the brain functions as a long-range transmitter or receiver for communication. The brain's electromagnetic energy also lacks the capacity to transmit information. Thus, within the framework of classical physics, telepathy is deemed impossible. Nevertheless, many scientists remain open to the possibility of telepathic communication existing in some form. For now, you cannot exchange thoughts with another person unless both agree to wear helmets fitted with electrodes. To date, the phenomenon of telepathy remains unproven and unexplained by scientific means. Its origin, true nature, and interaction mechanisms have never been empirically resolved. However, some psychologists offer explanations suggesting that a single reality might manifest simultaneously in multiple spatial locations, allowing two brains to receive or share the same thought. This idea, though, is only applicable in the macroscopic or quantum realms, not in the biological world we inhabit, where nothing is certain. Telepathy is an extremely rare phenomenon in everyday life, yet it reportedly occurs. Sometimes it persists for extended periods, while other times it manifests fleetingly and vaguely. According to scientists, whether telepathy truly exists remains an enigma. Therefore, if you encounter claims of telepathy in daily life, it can often be understood as a mere coincidence in thoughts, words, or actions. It continues to be one of the most perplexing phenomena, impossible to summon or dispel at will. The question, what is telepathy, remains one that many are eager to answer. Do you believe in telepathy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated with our upcoming videos in the Decoding series.